And we're back. So now I'm going to remove my tapes. It's going to reveal exactly where all my trees are going to be. I know they're all nice sharp edges, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Some of it's seeped in. That's perfect. I'm just going to remove my tape. It has to be dry. So oops. Can you see the trees now? Isn't that pretty already? Okay, so there's a few ways of doing birch trees. We can do birch trees with a credit card, okay? Or you can use a palette knife, which is the same thing as the credit card. That's one method, and I'm going to show it to you. The other method is just using a brush and paint. And we're going to choose our colors. Now, a lot of people think birch trees are, you know, really, they're just, I'm just cleaning my palette, so I'm ready for paint. I'm going to prepare a bit of a purpley red. So I'm just preparing just a little purple color here. Oops, my purple is turning out red, so don't overdo it like I just did. So I made it myself a nice big pile here. I'm going to show you with the credit card. So what you do is you pick it up, you put it in an angle, and you pick up paint in an angle. So can you see what's on there? And I'm going to do the big one. And I'm going to do happy face. Happy face, you know, like a smile. And you do the same thing on the other side. You could probably hear them scraping. And this is where the fun part comes, is you can just add other colors in there. Right on top. With the credit card. Okay. And when I apply it on an angle. So I know I have sharp edges, but that's okay. You can clean your credit card. I'm just going to make sure I have enough purple here so I can do the next one. Could be the color you want. So now, the other one is going to be, I'm going to wet it. I'm going to wet all that white area. And it doesn't matter if you go over, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take some paint and make sure I use the point of my brush right here. And I'm barely touching, coming down. Because it's wet, can you see the movement already of the paint? Do the same thing on the other side. And it doesn't matter if you go over. You can add other colors. Right on top in certain areas. And I'm barely touching the paper. This is another way of doing it. And then I can even add some branches. I got some trees in the back, so I gotta make sure I don't forget to do those. So this is done with the brush, and you wet the area. Sounds good? You can also, called dry brushing, pick up paint, paper is dry, and you can just do the same motion as a happy face. And create, it turned out brown. I think I got some yellow stuck in there. What happens is it ends up being like that because now that you added the paint, it's wet now, the paper, so you can texture up your tree. Sounds good? And then you can add in some branches. Always remember, if you want to put some really nice branches, go from where they grow from the tree up. Okay? And if I want this tree to be just a bit wider, here, doesn't have to be a birch tree, it can be any other tree. When you go wet, now that it's wet, you can come in and put some texture. There we go. I'm going to go back to the credit card, or I'm going to use the palette knife. It's the same principle. And the more you scratch, the more you can get textures. You see something like that? But you have to put it in an angle and push. Put it in an angle and push. If you put it on both sides, it will help you make branches. See? And I'm gonna do these ones. Now I'm right-handed, so if you're left-handed, it's similar, I presume. You make it as colorful as you want. It's Mother Nature. I'm kind of mixing. I have other colors in my palette. And if I wanted to add texture to that one that I did before, I could by using my palette knife. I'll go back to my credit card and I can do that here too. See? So I'm going to do these ones in the back. See? I just did that in one shot. I know. Going the other way. Ended up being a nice brown in my palette. And I'm going to bring this down here. Like that. And there's one that's on the outside that you barely see. I'm just going to prepare myself some glue. So I want more of a purpley color, but there. And we're gonna, if you noticed, I'm putting them mostly on one side because I decided that the light's coming this way. So if the light's coming this way, can you see my arrow here? it's coming this way. The shadows are going to be in this area. So if I follow this, go at the bottom of here, go like this. My shadow's going there. Here. I'll get a ruler. So my light's here in this corner. It's going to guide me. The end of each tree. See that? Oh, and I forgot this one. This one. And it's the same thing down here, so I get in an angle here. You can put in those angles. There you go. So it gives you an idea where the shadows are going to go. Sounds good? So to do the shadows, I forgot to do this one. Something like that, I think. Let's see. Sometimes I eyeball stuff. And if I want an exactitude, I use my ruler, okay? So I hope I got this one right. No, that one goes there. There we go. Well, it doesn't matter. I made a little mess. So now I'm going to make myself a nice purple. Usually you can use Payne's Gray to do this also, but you don't have to. You can use a very nice purple. Dilute it quite a bit. And you can put in your shadows. Can you start seeing landscape? Very simple birch trees. And 3 ways of doing them. I do have other methods, but this is the most fun. And this one. There's a shadow going there. This one goes here. You can add some branches. Very easy. A lot of people have tendencies of getting their little brush out. A little trick. I just want you to watch me to see twirl. It makes much more natural branches. And you can go right over to, say this one here is right over this one, right? So there you go. And this is supposed to be a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's get some more. Blue. Make some purple. So the light's coming this way, so this side of the tree is a little bit darker. And I put in a little bit of paint, yes. I could have used, again, the credit card to do that. Or you can easily just put it in using the side of my brush and making more textures on my trees. Now, I said I had a toothbrush, so I'm going to prepare some nice light green. So I have some already prepared here. And I want to add some branches. You don't want to cheat. You can just use the brush like this to do it, or I need another paper to protect my sheet. You don't want to have it everywhere, so I can spray where I really want it. See that? Very simple. It's very springy. And I can do the same thing down here if I wanted to add a little bit of texture. I like using toothbrushes. And that's pretty much easy way of doing it. So if you need to do retouch, would be really to retouch to make sure that right under those trees it's nice and dark. So I'm just making sure I have a nice dark purple so I can fix this. Same here. And that's it. I'm just going to sign it. And we're done. I hope you enjoyed.